But yeah, for some reason I didn't want to play d4. I wanted to carry on with this king attack thing. But the real strategic trump card is potentially this backward d pawn, because these two pawns act as the Maroczy bind anyway for stopping black liberate with d5. But in order to make use of that Maroczy bind, it's nice also to be able to attack on this d file to probe that weakness. So d4 here seems very strong. I played actually king f2, just blindly pursuing this h4, which I also I just thought it was a promising idea. But after knight g8, first I wanted to make absolutely sure black's not trying to get some queenside counterplay with knight c7 and knight a6 or something like that, a5. So I definitely wanted to answer any a5s with b5. So I played actually a4 here, just to make sure the queenside locked up. Now he plays king g7. And again, in this position, d4 is being cried out by Rybka to be played. Black is again awkwardly placed to exploit e5. So d4 again. Let's have a look at this. ed, knight d4. If black tries a5 then b5, just white's standing quite a lot better here, but not as good as the other variation. There's some issues now with the c file. So but b6 apparently, and now rook e3. White's still better in this kind of position. Knight f3. So at least I'm keeping control of e5 here. But maybe black's more solid in this kind of position. It looks as though black's fine. In fact, after knight b6, black would be better. So that was a bit over optimistic with b5, Rybka's suggestion earlier. So this is not as great as the other position for playing d4. So I played actually anyway knight g1 to reroute the knight to f3 to be able to play h4, trying to peel open the g file still. He plays knight c7. Now after knight f3, now he finally plays a5. And I thought maybe he's playing for a draw. He's going to close up the queen side. I was literally expecting after b5, I thought he might just play c5. If he played c5, white still stands better according to Rybka and can still pursue this simple idea of rook h1 now. Say rook h1 and now h4, and Rybka actually follows this plan for a change, going for the black king, and white has a small advantage. But something really horrible happened. After rook ac8, it's a mysterious rook move, what Nimzowitsch will call the mysterious rook move, because it's behind a lot of pieces. But and also, if I'm going to take with ab, what's the point of that rook on c8, you might ask? I certainly found out that there was a point. After rook h1, this must be the most intuitive piece sacrifice of the whole tournament that I've seen anyone play against me. My position is geared up for h4. It's not really geared up for queenside counterplay. In fact, I just assumed that the queenside counterplay was non-existent from black. But after cb ap, can you guess what black played here? I'll give you 10 seconds starting from now. Okay, black played knight takes b5, and I just thought, I'll be a whole piece up here, and where is black's counterplay? But then it's starting to occur to me quite quickly after this a5 pawn is very, very quick, and it's dangerous, this rook activity. So let's see, knight takes b5, and after bishop takes b5, I did play c takes b5. I don't think there's anything else here. So he plays rook c2 check. So he's got a rook on the 7th. And you see now there's this awkward tactical liabilities going on. The rook is protecting the bishop now, quite humbly. And I play now king e3. And he plays his other rook simply to fc8. And he's got a latent threat here of just coming down very quickly with this pawn to try and queen it. And also there's this nice manoeuvre knight d2 to c5 to factor in. So I played knight d2 myself, because I thought c4 would be a great square for the knight. And Rivka at this stage thinks white has a clear advantage. And so did I at the time. He played now rook a8 to c3. And I played actually h4, which apparently is a major inaccuracy, which blows a lot of my positional advantage. I think the point is g4, it's nice to be protected by h3, so I don't have to have a rook tied down on g3. And Rivka actually gives knight c4 here, and this variation would have been apparently a good way to consolidate. So rook c1. But something really mysterious even happens with Rivka here, trying to consolidate, because it starts changing its evaluation tune now quite severely. After knight takes d6, a4, all of a sudden this pawn is becoming extremely dangerous. After bishop f3 or rook f3, now a3 is given as equal. In fact, gone from equal at depth 10 above. Black has a clear advantage now. So my whole position was geared up for this kingside and not to handle a quick a pawn. And let's see now. So minus 0.75 here. So rook a3 giving up d3, and it starts to be completely crushing. Rook 1 c2. So it's a brilliant positional. It just seems to be a brilliant positional piece sacrifice, which even Rivka can't defend against. And this is a 130 ECF that played this sacrifice. So I would vote it sacrifice of the year from an ECF 130. I mean, this is just totally killing if white has to give up the rook. That's it. It was just, you know, where the white position's geared up. This, I don't know. I just couldn't see anything myself, so I played h4. And he plays now rook a2, which Rivka does like as well. I took on g5. Knight c4, now he plays rook a3, so there's a straight threat of rook takes c4 here. And I can't really wiggle out with knight b2, I don't think, because I think either rook a2 or rook b4, say rook a2, and now rook b5, or sorry, rook c5. It seems very tricky for white to get coordination going here. So basically, let's go back. I actually ended up losing that piece. I played first king f2 because I thought I could evacuate my king maybe to h2. But there was a horrible variation which occurred to me here. That he plays rook a2 check. And here, if I don't play king g3, if I played king g1, I saw a frightening move which black could play here. Potentially, I wonder if you could spot it, what I spotted in analysis. So I'll give you 5 seconds here, starting from now. Okay, the move I was concerned about was knight takes e4. Basically, I can't play d takes e4 because of rook takes g3. That would seem horrible. And if I played bishop takes e4, then there's this mate in 1. So that's not very pleasant for the white king. And if I'm forced to play rook f3, which is like Rivka's suggestion, then after knight f6, I've really got nothing here. My advantage is just totally theoretical at 0.30, but it's a very difficult to play position as well, with, you know, this pawn loose, this pawn loose, this pawn, you know, running down to queen, etc. And this king and rook not really poised to do anything useful for a long time to come. So basically, let's go back. So after the check, I played actually king e3, and I was getting a bit annoyed with my position. He played rook a4, further toying with me now, and here I decide that I saw something interesting which maybe my opponent had not. So knight takes d6, but after rook d4, I thought this was a cunning, king move, protecting d3 and at the same time attacking c3, that's giving my knight a chance to escape.